Aye.
Thank you. Please be seated. It is November 11th, 2025, and we will proceed with the 2 a.m. initial appearance calendar. Before I begin, I have to read 2 advisements. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar day of this month shall apply to all matters on today's calendar. And second, if you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law. Among others, they include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's counsel, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call each of you individually into the courtroom where we will conduct your initial appearance. During your hearing, I will go over several things. I will let you know what type of matter you are here on, whether the court is appointing an attorney to represent you, what your next court dates are, and whether or not you are eligible for release. If you are eligible for release, I will go over release terms with you. Very important to note is you will receive paperwork on your way out of the courtroom. This is very important, so please don't lose it. It will list your court dates, times, and locations, as well as your release terms. I will likely go over many of the release terms with you when you come into court. However, I probably won't go over all of them, so it's very important that you read your paperwork, that you understand all of the conditions, and that you abide by them. All right, so we will start today with Grant Waters. All right, so may I have your name and date of birth?
Grant James Waters, November 25th, 1992.
Okay. So I have you here on one matter. It includes several allegations of new charges. Those allegations include 2 charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, both Class 3 felonies, 1 count of discharging a firearm at a residence, a Class 2 felony, 2 counts of disorderly conduct with a weapon, both of those are Class 6 felonies, 1 count of discharging a firearm within city limits, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause as to all of those allegations and has appointed an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. Those hearings are downtown. You are eligible for release, sir, and the court is imposing the following conditions. Those conditions include a cash-only bond in the amount of $100,000. If you post that bond and are released, you will be released to pre-trial services, and an electronic monitoring device will be installed on your person before your release from custody. So you are cautioned that your other release conditions include not returning to the scene of the crime, not initiating any contact with the alleged victims, any complainants or witnesses. You are cautioned that violation of the no victim contact order in this case may constitute aggravated harassment, a Class 6 felony under Arizona law, if probable cause were found by a court for any new felony offense. While this case is pending, you would be held without bail at the initial appearance hearing pursuant to Arizona law. Additionally, you are not to initiate any contact with the arresting officers. You are not to possess any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license, and you must obey terms of any order against harassment should an order be issued against you while this case is pending. Your next court dates and release terms are all in your paperwork, which you can take from the deputy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good? No. Tazon Helm. Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
Tazon Helm, July 18, 2003.
Okay, you are here on one matter. That matter includes one allegation of a new charge. The allegation is one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. That's a Class 3 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that allegation and has appointed an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. Both hearings are downtown. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. If you post that bond and are released, you'll be released to the supervision of pretrial services. And before you leave the jail, you will be outfitted with an electronic monitoring unit. Whether you are in or out of custody, you may not initiate any contact with any of the alleged victims or complainants for any reason without further court order in this criminal case. And that is whether it is direct or indirect contact. So you can't have direct contact, can't have contact through third parties or social media. Additional terms of release are you cannot return to the scene of the alleged crime, nor have any contact with any complainants, witnesses, or arresting officers. You may not possess any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. And you must obey the terms of any order of protection or order against harassment that may be issued against you. Okay. All of your release conditions are on your paperwork. Thank you.
This way, sir.
Angel Coda, please. May I have your name and date of birth?
Angel Coda 5/8/2002.
Thank you. Sir, you're here on one matter. That matter involves 4 allegations of new charges. There are 2 counts of assault, both Class 1 misdemeanors, 1 count of burglary in the 2nd degree, which is a Class 3 felony, and 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor.
How do I have a burglary?
Excuse me. I'll give you a chance to,
Okay, I'm sorry.
ask any questions.
I'm sorry, because they never told me I had a burglary charge. I'm sorry.
Well,
I don't know how.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I need you to stop talking
Okay, I'm sorry.
until I say that it's okay for you to talk, all right? So one of the purposes of your initial appearance is to be advised of what you are here on. Those are the 4 allegations against you. The court has found probable cause as to all 4 of them. The court has appointed an attorney to represent you, and you have the following future court dates. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000. If you post that bond and are released, before you are released from custody, you'll be outfitted with an electronic monitoring unit, and you must comply with pretrial services. Other release conditions include you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime and not to initiate contact with any of the alleged victims. You are cautioned that violation of the no victim contact order in this case may constitute aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony under Arizona law. If probable cause were found by a court for any new felony, including aggravated harassment, while this case is pending, you would be held non-bondable pursuant to Arizona law. You are not to have any contact with any alleged complainants, witnesses, or arresting officers. No weapons, no drugs without a prescription. All of these release conditions and your next court dates are on your paperwork. If you have any questions, you can ask them now. If not, the deputy has your paperwork.
I don't have a burglary charge because I never went in that. I never went in that.
I just want to caution you that you have a right to remain silent, okay? So anything that you say surrounding any of these allegations would likely be used against you. You have an attorney that's going to be appointed for you, and your first court date after today is only in a couple of days, okay? I encourage you to ask all of those questions to your attorney, and whatever it is that you were going to tell me, make sure to pass it along to your attorney, all right?
All right.
Okay, thank you. May I have Lisa Cosgrove, please? May I have your name and date of birth?
Lisa Cosgrove, 9/21/77.
Thank you. Ms. Cosgrove, I have you here on one matter. That matter includes 5 allegations of new charges. They are 2 allegations of fraudulent schemes. Both of those are Class 2 felonies. 2 counts of taking the identity of another. Those 2 are Class 4 felonies. And 1 count of theft as a Class 3 felony. The court has found probable cause as to all 5 of those allegations and has appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m., both hearings downtown. You are eligible for release. the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. Other terms of release include not initiating contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, complainants, or arresting officers. Please do make sure to read the entire list of release conditions, which is on your paperwork. Thank you. William Kerr, please. All right. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
William Kerr, 2597.
Thank you. I have you here on one matter. That matter includes 4 allegations of new charges. Possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, Class 4 felony. Possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense, a Class 4 felony. Possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. And possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a status conference on November 18th and a preliminary hearing on November 20th. Both hearings are at 8:30 in the morning downtown. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following conditions. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. If you post that bond and are released, you will be released to pretrial services, so you have to make sure that you comply with their requirements. Additional terms of release include not initiating contact with the officers, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a license. Okay? Thank you. Isaac Wood, please. May I have your name and date of birth?
Isaac Wood, July 24th, 2003.
Thank you. Mr. Wood, I have you here on 2 matters. The first matter includes 3 allegations of new charges. They include resisting arrest, a Class 1 misdemeanor, failure to obey a police officer, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and unlawful flight from law enforcement, a Class 5 felony. Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, so let me just back up for 1 minute. There are actually 4 allegations of new charges, okay? So again, resisting arrest, failure to obey a law enforcement officer, and unlawful flight, all right? And the 4th is failure to give information at the scene of an accident. That is a Class 1 misdemeanor. So the court has found probable cause as to all 4 of those allegations. The court has appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference on November 18th and a preliminary hearing on November 20th. Both of those are at 8:30 a.m. in the courthouse downtown. You're eligible for release in this matter. The court is imposing the following release conditions. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. You have other release conditions along with that secured appearance bond. They're all written down in your paperwork, so please make sure to read that, okay?
All right.
In your second matter, you are here for a justice court warrant that was issued out of the Kyrene Justice Court, okay? That is a failure, just give me 1 second. All right, so that is a failure to appear warrant out of the Justice Court for a case involving 1 count of driving on a suspended license as a Class 1 misdemeanor and 1 count of reckless driving as a Class 2 misdemeanor. So the court is not appointing you an attorney in this matter. Both of these types of misdemeanors do not make you eligible for court-appointed counsel, all right? Your first hearing in this justice court matter is an arraignment hearing. That's on December 1st at 9:30 a.m. That's at the justice court. Make sure that when you're looking at your paperwork, you know, for each case, when the court date is and at what location. In this case, you're being released on your own recognizance. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Adrian Perez, please. Oh, thank you. Is it okay if okay.
Adrian Perez.
May I have your name and date of birth?
Adrian Perez, 9/8/2000.
Thank you. I have you here on one matter. It's a failure to appear warrant that is on your criminal case CR 2023-104783. That's a case involving one count of possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you. You have a non-witness violation hearing and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. When the court issued the failure to appear warrant, your criminal trial court requested a bond in the amount of $250. So you're eligible for release. This court is going to affirm that $250 secured appearance bond, okay? In addition to that secured appearance bond, you have a list of other release conditions, so please make sure that you read all of them and that you abide by them, okay? Thank you.
All right, so my bond is $250, right?
Yes, $250.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. Jamerica Albert, please. Hello. May I have your name and date of birth?
Jamerica Albert, February 17, 1998.
Thank you. All right. So I have you here on two matters, okay? The first one is a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued in your criminal case, number CR 2025-129488. That is your criminal case involving one count of aggravated assault as a Class 4 felony, one count of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony, and one count of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court has appointed an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. When the criminal trial court issued the warrant for your failure to appear, that court requested a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. This court is affirming that secured appearance bond. All right. So in addition to the bond, you have a list of other release conditions, including do not return to the scene of the crime, no contact with any victims, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. And there are other release terms, so please make sure to read the entire list. In your second matter, you were here on another failure to appear warrant. That is on criminal case CR 2025-128914. That's for the case involving one count of burglary as a Class 4 felony and one count of criminal trespass as a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court is appointing you an attorney for this case as well. You have a status conference on the same day, November 18th at 8:30 a.m. And your release conditions are very similar in this case. So you're eligible for release. Terms of your release include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. Not to return to the scene of the crime, no contact with the alleged victims. Again, just make sure that you read over your paperwork and that you abide by all of those release conditions, okay? Thank you. You can go ahead and take your paperwork. May I have John Shisley, please? All right. May I have your name and date of birth?
John Shisley, 3/18/81.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shisley. You are here on one matter. That matter includes two allegations of new offenses. One is possession of narcotic drugs for sale, a Class 2 felony, and one count of possession of a weapon in a drug offense. The court has found probable cause as to those allegations. The status conference scheduled on November 17th, and a preliminary hearing scheduled for November 20th. Both of those hearings are at 8:30 a.m. In the courthouse downtown. Mr. Shisley, you are not eligible for release, okay? So because you were on felony release in criminal case number CR 2025-137217, by Arizona law, this court's hands are tied, and I must hold you non-bondable until your next hearing. So because you have that non-bond status now, the court is setting a third hearing. That's an evidentiary hearing on November 18th. That's at 1:30 p.m. That's a hearing specifically to address this bond issue, okay? So you have an attorney appointed. Your next hearing is in a little less than a week. You can discuss all these things with that attorney, okay? Thank you. May I have Benson Chung, please? All right, so may I have your name and date of birth?
Benson Trung, date of birth, that's 4/15/1986.
Thank you, Mr. Chung. All right, I have you here on one matter. That involves one allegation of a new offense. Possession of dangerous drugs is a Class 4 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that allegation and has appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 1st, also at 8:30 a.m. Both of those are downtown. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. The court is releasing you on your own recognizance, all right? While on release, you're not to initiate any contact with the arresting officers, not to possess any weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a valid driver's license. You'll receive your paperwork. It'll be your responsibility to get to those hearings. Again, the first hearing is on November 25th at 8:30 a.m., and that will be written down. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all set.
Thanks.
May I have Jeanette Newman? May I have your name and date of birth?
Jeanette Garnica, 08/11/2002.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Garnica, I have you here on one matter. That matter includes two allegations of new offenses. One is the failure to admit carrying a deadly weapon when asked by a police officer. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. One is possession of an open container of liquor, also in a car, also a misdemeanor.
Okay.
I'm not appointing you an attorney because due to the nature of these misdemeanors by Arizona law, that doesn't make you qualified for a court-appointed attorney. But you can certainly hire one if you choose. If not, you can represent yourself. You can also readdress the counsel issue at your next court date, which is it's an arraignment hearing on December 9th at 1:30 p.m. That's going to be at the Surprise Municipal Court, all right? That date, time, and location is going to be in your paperwork. You're eligible for release today. The court is releasing you on your own recognizance. You have some release terms. Please make sure you read and abide by all the release terms, including no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. Okay? All of this will be in your paperwork.
Okay. I have one question, if you could answer, please. So the gun is actually my girlfriend's gun.
So I would caution you. So you're released on your own recognizance, which means they're going to release you, okay, sometime I don't know exactly when, but sometime in the next few hours, I would imagine. So I would caution you, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the allegations here would likely be used against you in the future. So go to your first court date, okay? Talk about it, decide whether or not to hire counsel, and then discuss all of these issues at your next court date, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Luis Valenzuela Hernandez. Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
Luis Valenzuela Hernandez, 090397.
Thank you so much. Sir, I have you here on two matters. The first is a failure to pay warrant out of the Santan Justice Court. That arises out of a case of one count of contracting without a license. So, your next hearing in that matter is on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. That's at the Santan Justice Court. I am going to impose a secured appearance bond, which I will explain in a moment. Ordinarily, with this type of offense, you aren't entitled to court-appointed counsel. However, because this court is imposing a bond, I'm going to appoint an attorney for you to address the bond issue only if you need help with that, all right? And so that will be appointed, that attorney will be appointed. So you're eligible for release. When this warrant issued out of Santan Justice Court, the justice there requested a bond in the amount of $2,691. That's a secured appearance bond. This court is going to affirm that, all right? You have other terms, including no contact with the arresting officers and no driving without a valid driver's license. Your second matter give me one moment. Your second matter is it's a warrant that issued with a direct complaint. That direct complaint was filed by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office and filed in the Maricopa County Superior Court. And it is for one count of possession of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony. All right? So the court is appointing an attorney for you in this matter. You have a status conference on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 1st at 8:30 a.m. So keep in mind, your first case is out of a justice court. The second case is out of Superior Court, two different locations. You are eligible for release in this matter as well. The court is going to release you without a bond, but to pretrial services. You'll receive a packet of information on how to contact pretrial services and what you need to do to comply with their services pending your next court date. In this matter, you have other release conditions, including no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid license. Again, just like I told everyone, make sure you read all of your release conditions and abide by them.
Also,
Yes.
will I get more information on the charge for narcotics?
You will, yes. So you will receive the direct complaint. You'll be able to meet with your attorney, and that will all happen at the status conference on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. All right, so you can talk to your attorney about, with any questions and concerns. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Very nice.
You too. All right, and then Javier Cervantes is our interpreter matter. Okay. May I have Javier Cervantes? All right. So we have the interpreter on the line.
This is Lucia, will be your interpreter, ID number 2528.
Thank you so much. All right. Mr. Cervantes, could I have your name and date of birth?
Señor Cervantes, ¿me puede dar su nombre y fecha de nacimiento?
Sí, mi nombre es Francisco Cervantes Herrera.
Thank you.
¿Y su fecha de nacimiento, señor?
Septiembre 18 de 1970.
Francisco Cervantes Herrera, September 18th, 1970.
All right, sir, you are here on 3 matters. The first matter involves allegations of 2 new offenses.
Bueno, señor, está aquí por 3 causas. La primera involucra acusaciones por 2 ofensas nuevas.
They are 1 allegation of owning or operating a chop shop, which is a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of trafficking in stolen property, also a Class 2 felony, and the court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations.
Entonces, estas acusaciones son ser dueño u operar un taller de desguace, en el que es un tipo de delito clase 2, y un tipo de causa por traficar propiedad robada, que es un tipo de delito clase 2. La Corte ha encontrado una causa probable para ambas acusaciones.
The court has appointed you an attorney, and you have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m.
La Corte le ha asignado un abogado defensor y también tiene una conferencia de Estado el día 18 de noviembre a las 8:30 y una audiencia preliminar el 20 de noviembre a las 8:30 también de la mañana.
You are eligible for release in this matter, and the court is imposing the following terms. The first term of your release is the court is imposing a $25,000 secured appearance bond.
Usted es elegible para ser usted liberado. Para poder ser liberado, se le ha impuesto los siguientes términos. El primer término para su liberación es un pago a la Corte de una fianza garantizada por comparecencia de $25,000.
Additionally, you are not to have any contact with any victims, witnesses, or arresting officers, and there are other release conditions that are written on your paperwork. Please make sure to comply with all of them.
En adición a esto, tampoco puede tener contacto con ninguna víctima, testigo u oficial de su arresto. Hay otras condiciones de liberación escritas en sus papeles. Por favor, esté usted seguro de estar usted en concordancia con estos términos.
In your second matter, you are here on a failure to pay warrant out of the East McDowell Justice Court, and that is on a driving on a suspended license case.
Bien, el segundo caso es por la falla en el pago de la orden judicial de la Corte de Justicia de East McDowell, que era por un caso por conducir con una licencia suspendida.
The court has appointed you an attorney, and you have an arraignment hearing in the East McDowell Justice Court on November 14th at 8:30 a.m.
La Corte le ha asignado un abogado defensor, tiene una audiencia de lectura de cargos en la Corte de Justicia de East McDowell el día 14 de noviembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
When the East McDowell Justice Court issued this warrant, the judge there requested a secured appearance bond in the amount of $884, and this court is affirming that bond.
Excuse me, interpreter, may I ask you to repeat the amount? You said 884?
Yes.
Cuando el juez le hizo esta orden, se le solicitó una garantía de comparecencia, una fianza por un total de $884, el cual está solicitando esta corte.
In your third matter, I have you here on an arrest warrant. This is out of the Northwest Region Justice Court. That is for failing to comply with probation terms on a 2001 case of issuing a bad check.
El tercer caso es por una orden de arresto. Esto es por la falla en la concordancia con los términos de su probation por la Corte de Justicia del Northwest Region. Esto es por un caso del 2001 por dar un cheque sin fondos.
Sir, do you have a question?
Sí. En esos, sí. En esos, la otra vez que vine, fui a la Corte Superior, agarré mi de criminal de Javier y Francisco para mi caso de inmigración, y no me está saliendo nada de eso. La otra vez que estuve en el 19 con mi esposa también salió eso, y arregló eso. Mi esposa fue a dejar los $150 el money order, pero no me lo han quitado.
Well, the other time that I was here, I went to the Superior Court with Javier and Francisco. We had an immigration case in 19 with my wife. My wife paid $150 as a money order, and that was not taken.
Okay. So, in this arrest warrant, the issuing of the bad check offense date was back on August 20th, 2001. And what the arrest warrant says is that Northwest Region Justice Court is alleging that you've violated or failed to comply with your terms of probation on that case.
Bien, en este caso que le estoy comentando, esto es una ofensa del 20 de agosto del 2001. Es una orden de arresto de parte de la Corte de Justicia de la región del Northwest, alegando que usted ha fallado con la concordancia de los términos de su probation.
So I am appointing an attorney to represent you in that matter. You have an arraignment hearing at the it's at the Manistee. It's saying it's at the Manistee Justice Court. That's on November 14th at 10:30 a.m. And so, sir, you want to be very careful to look at each of your release conditions because you have 3 cases now out of 3 separate courts.
Señor, nosotros se va a solicitar la audiencia en la Corte de Manistee. Entonces, eso es en la Corte de Justicia de Manistee el día 14 de noviembre a las 10:30. Tiene que tener mucho cuidado en ver las condiciones de liberación, porque ahora tiene 3 casos en 3 cortes distintas.
In this third matter, when the warrant issued, that Justice Court requested a secured appearance bond in the amount of $545, and this court is affirming that bond for today.
Por este caso, la Orden de Justicia ha solicitado la garantía de comparecencia por una cantidad de $545 y esa corte está afirmando esa garantía para el día de hoy.
All of these dates and all of these terms of release and individual bonds will be clearly stated on your paperwork, sir. Thank you.
Gracias.
Todas estas fechas y todos los términos de liberación van a estar todos los papeles. Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter. Have a good evening.
Thank you for calling Lion Bridge, Interpreter 2528 disconnected.
Thank you.
Your Honor, are you ready for Roy?
Yes, and just confirming that the courtroom is otherwise cleared? Yes. Okay, thank you. Mr. Cleveland, please come in. Thank you. All right. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
Jeremiah, and 1/3/2000.
Okay, will you give me your full name?
Jeremiah Cleveland.
Thank you. All right. I have you here on one matter. That matter involves allegations of 3 new offenses. I'm sorry. I have you here on one matter. That matter includes 7 allegations of new offenses. Those include 6 allegations of sexual conduct with a minor. All 6 of those are Class 2 felonies. And then 1 allegation of molestation of a child, that is also a Class 2 felony. The court has found probable cause as to all of these allegations, except for 2 of the counts of sexual conduct with a minor. So, to summarize, the court found probable cause on 4 counts of sexual conduct with a minor, and the 1 count of molestation of a child. All 5 of those are Class 2 felonies. I do want to advise you that just because the court didn't find probable cause as to the other 2 counts of sexual conduct today, doesn't mean that they won't be filed or charged in the future. The court has appointed you an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. That is at the courthouse downtown. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a cash-only bond in the amount of $150,000. If you post that bond and are released from custody, before you are released, you will be fitted with an electronic monitoring unit. And you will have to comply with that device and with pretrial services. Other very important terms of your release are you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to initiate any contact whatsoever with the alleged victim. You are not to initiate contact with the arresting officers. You are not to have any contact whatsoever with any minors. You are prohibited from accessing the internet through any electronic means. You are not to possess any weapons, any drugs without a valid prescription, and you are not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid license. Additionally, you must continue to provide the court with proof of your local address, and you must submit to DNA testing at the arresting police department. Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna have someone.
Sure, take your time. Okay, great, thank you. Okay, Deputy, so Deputy, was Ronnie Raylon Ramos not transported to court because that individual, yes, go ahead.
Yes, he's extremely intoxicated, unable to function.
Thank you. All right, so we will just note quickly for the record that Mr. Raylon Ramos is here on one matter. It is an allegation of a new charge of criminal trespass, a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause. Due to the nature of the charge, Mr. Raylon Ramos is not entitled to court-appointed counsel. He has an arraignment hearing on November 18th at 1:30 p.m. at the West McDowell Justice Court. In terms of his release, he will be released on his own recognizance, no contact with the arresting officers, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license, and he must continue to provide the court with proof of his address. I will conduct his initial appearance in the back of the house. If I change any of those orders, let the record reflect that the written orders will be this court's final orders. Thank you. With that, we'll go off the record. It is November 11th. Let me try that again. I'm worried to give it another test. Yeah. Something you want me to try? Let me know if there's anything you want me to try. Okay. It is November 11th, 2025. We are going to proceed with the 5 a.m. initial appearance calendar. Before we do that, I have two advisements to read. First, the court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month remain in effect for today's purposes. And second, if you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling, and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who has caused you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of victim's rights, please contact the Victim Services Unit of the Prosecutor's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call each of you individually into the courtroom to conduct your initial appearance. During your hearing, I will advise you of the manner in which, in the manner of which your matter is, whether the court is appointing you an attorney, what your next court dates are, and whether you are eligible for release. If you are eligible for release, I will go over some of the release conditions with you. Very important I will likely not go over all of the court's release conditions. So it's very important that you take your paperwork from the deputy, that you keep it, and that you familiarize yourself with it because, again, it will include your next court dates and complete list of all of your release conditions. And with that, may I have Amanda Nye, please? All right, come to the podium, please. And when you do, please state your name and date of birth.
My name is Amanda Nye, and I born on 8/14/1979.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nye. You are here on one matter. That's a failure to appear warrant that issued out of the Maricopa County Superior Court on a case involving 2 counts of providing false information to obtain benefits. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this matter, and you have a probation revocation / disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. When this warrant issued, the judge in this case requested a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,000. So today's purposes, this court is releasing you with the following conditions. The court is going to affirm that $2,000 secured appearance bond, and then you will have additional release conditions that will be clearly stated in your paperwork. So again, see your paperwork for your next court dates and all of those release conditions. Okay. Okay, thank you. May I have Richard Gonzalez? Mr. Gonzalez, will you please state your name and date of birth?
Richard Gonzalez, July 23rd, 1990.
Okay. Sir, you're here on 5 matters, all right? So I'm going to highly suggest that you take a close look at your release paperwork. I'm going to go over each matter, your next court dates, and your release terms, but, there's 5 of them, so make sure that you read all your paperwork. All right, starting with the first one. Okay. This is in CR 2025-133068. Sir, the county attorney's office filed a direct complaint against you, and that direct complaint includes 1 count of possession of narcotic drugs and 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs. Okay, direct complaint is like a new case. When the direct complaint issued, they requested that a warrant for your arrest be issued as well. That's why you're here on this matter. The court has appointed you an attorney in this matter. You have a status conference on November 18th and a preliminary hearing on November 20th at 8:30 a.m. at the courthouse downtown. So you're eligible for release in this matter, and you have the following release terms. You have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. You have other release conditions. They include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license. You got to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. But again, these are just some of the arguably most important release conditions. Make sure you read all of them and abide by all of them. All right? In your second matter, you're here on a failure to pay. That's a failure to pay warrant that was issued out of the White Tank Justice Court. The case number in that is CR 2015-14155. That's a case that involves a conviction for DUI. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have an arraignment hearing. That's November 14th at 8:30 a.m. Make sure you look at the address because this is out of a justice court, all right? So different court location than the first matter. You are eligible for release with the following terms. In this matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. And again, read your release conditions. There are other release conditions that apply to this. The remaining 3 matters are all probation violation warrants. I'm going to go through them each individually, but you have 3 Maricopa County Superior Court cases, criminal cases that you're on probation for right now, all right? In each one of these cases, probation is alleging a Term 1 violation, which is basically an allegation of new offenses. Those alleged new offenses are 3 counts of possession of dangerous drugs with a date of offense of today, November 11th, 2025. So going through these individually, you have a probation violation warrant in CR 2023-153204. Again, this is on an alleged Term 1 violation of your probation in that criminal case. You have an attorney that the court has appointed for you. You have a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. downtown. In this matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,000 along with other release conditions that are in your written order. In CR 2023-137141, you again have another probation violation matter with an alleged Term 1 violation. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have the same probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. Again, that's November 18th at 8:30 a.m. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,000, along with the other release conditions that are in your written order. And finally, your last matter is a probation violation matter in your criminal case, CR 2023-000368. Again, it's a Term 1, an alleged Term 1 violation. The court is appointing you an attorney in this matter. You have the same probation revocation, arraignment, possible disposition on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. Your release conditions are the same in this one. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,000 along with other release terms that are clearly stated in your written orders. Okay, thank you, sir. May I please have Summer Watkins? Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
Summer Watkins, 04/14/2001.
Okay. I have you here on 2 matters, all right? The first is a failure to appear warrant that issued out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. That was a failure to appear for a court date on your case that involves promoting prison contraband, which is a Class 2 felony, possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. downtown.
Okay.
When this warrant issued, your criminal trial court requested a $1,000 secured appearance bond. You are eligible for release in this matter For today's purposes, this court is affirming that $1,000 secured appearance bond, all right? Other terms of your release include no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a valid driver's license, as well as some others that are in your written order. In your second matter, is a warrant that issued when a direct complaint was filed against you. So this would have been filed by the county attorney's office. And they filed a direct complaint containing one count of burglary in the 3rd degree, a class 4 felony, and one count of shoplift, a class 6 felony. All right? So this is a new case, in essence.
Okay.
The court is appointing you an attorney. We have a status conference in this case on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. And you have a preliminary hearing in this case on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You're eligible for release in this case as well, and you have the following release conditions. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. You have other terms of release. Specifically, some of them are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with the alleged victims, and then make sure that you read the remainder of the release terms and follow them. Okay?
Thank you.
May I please have Jasmine Whitcomb? Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
Jasmine Whitcomb, October 25th, 1998.
Thank you. I have you here on 2 matters. First matter has allegations of 4 new offenses, all right? So they are discharge of a firearm within city limits, a class 6 felony, disorderly conduct with a weapon, a class 6 felony, possession of a weapon by a prohibited possessor, a class 4 felony, and failure to obey law enforcement, a class 2 misdemeanor. All right. The court has found probable cause as to all 4 of those allegations. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on November 20th, also at 8:30 a.m. All right, those are downtown. You are eligible for release. And frankly, I did go back and forth on your release terms. Certainly, these are just allegations. You're presumed to be innocent. The allegations cause me concern along with your criminal history, all right? But ultimately, I am imposing a secured appearance bond, but it's going to be in the amount of $1,000. And I did consider going higher, frankly, all right? So you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000 and other release terms, including no contact with the alleged complainant or any witnesses or arresting officers, no weapons, okay? No weapons. No drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a license, all right? In your second case, you're here on a probation violation warrant, all right? So this is in your criminal case CR 2020-102612, all right? So you have now, by virtue of the new allegations that we just went through, you have a term 1 violation allegation in your probation in that 2020 criminal case, all right? A term 1 is just You're not supposed to get any new offenses while on probation, all right? The court is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You are eligible for release. Again, I have to say I had the same dilemma. I am imposing a secured appearance bond, but in the amount of $500, right? Now, other terms of your release are no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a license. You have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Again, I hope you don't prove me wrong. You are clearly very young. I'm sure you have a lot of potential. And I'm hoping that, you know, with these release conditions, that they're not so onerous that you can't, you know, hopefully be released with these terms, make your court dates, finish your probation, you know, and comply with all of these terms, okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day.
May I have Salvador Saldana, please? Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
96, Salvador Saldana.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Saldana, I have you here on 4 matters, okay? So I'm going to go through each one as clearly as I can, but you want to make sure that you read your release paperwork, because with different matters, it can get a bit confusing with the different court dates and the different release terms. So in the first matter, you're here on a probation violation warrant. This is for your criminal case number CR 2024-129642. That is the case where you are convicted of possession of narcotic drugs. You are alleged to have violated terms 3, 5, 7, and 15 of your probation. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a probation revocation arraignment, possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You're eligible for release. Your release terms in this matter include a $500 secured appearance bond, all right? Also, important terms include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license. You got to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. These are most of the release terms, not all of them, so please read your written orders. In your second matter, you are here on another probation violation warrant. That's in criminal case CR 2024-114132. That is the case that you had with the conviction of theft of means of transportation and possession of drug paraphernalia. You are alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 7 of your probation in that case. The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting the same court date. So a probation revocation arraignment, possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. Your release conditions include a $1,500 secured appearance bond in this matter, along with a list of other release conditions. They're identical to the release conditions in your first matter. Your third matter is a probation violation warrant for your criminal case CR 2023-150355. That is your case in which you have a possession of drug paraphernalia conviction. You are alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 7 of your probation in that case. The court is appointing an attorney and setting the probation revocation arraignment possible disposition hearing, again for November 18th at 8:30 a.m. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500, as well as the additional release terms that are listed in your written orders. And finally, sir, you're here on a fourth probation violation warrant for your criminal case number CR 2025-101601. In that case, you are convicted of possession of a forged instrument, a Class 4 felony. You are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of this probation. The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting the probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition for November 18th at 8:30 a.m. In this matter, your release terms include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250, along with the remaining release conditions that are listed in your written orders. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Jeremy King, please. Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
Jeremy King, 8989.
Thank you, sir. All right, I have you here on two matters. The first is a probation violation warrant. That is in your criminal case CR 2024-159916. In that case, you had a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation in that matter. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you and setting a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition for November 18th at 8:30 a.m. downtown. All right? You're eligible for release in this matter. You have the following terms. You have a $50 secured appearance bond. No contact with the arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license. You have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay? In your second matter, you're here on allegations of new offenses. Those allegations include 3 counts of possession of narcotic drugs. All 3 of those are Class 4 felonies, and 1 count of resisting arrest is a Class 6 felony. The court found probable cause for 1 of the counts of possession of narcotic drugs and resisting arrest. The court did not find probable cause on the other 2 counts of possession of narcotic drugs, but I do want to let you know that just because this court did not find a probable cause for today's purposes doesn't mean that those won't be charged later, okay? The court is appointing you an attorney and is setting a status conference for November 25th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 1st, also at 8:30 a.m., okay? These are just allegations. But the court was concerned that the date of these allegations happened while you were on probation, so I did go back and forth on your release terms, okay? Ultimately, in this matter, the court opted to release you without a bond, all right? So there's no bond required. You are going to be released to pretrial services. All right, you'll receive an envelope of information. Please make sure to read it.
Okay.
Make sure to read it and comply with their rules, okay? And go to your next court date. Other release terms are the same as in your probation case. Basically, just please, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription. Read all of the release conditions, and just like I told someone who came in here a few hearings before you, please don't prove me wrong on these release conditions, okay? Show up to your next court date, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. You're all set. LeVar Day. No, I'm sorry. Oh, we can do Crystal Kelly. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Hi, may I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, Crystal Nicolette Kelly, 4/14/1980.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
That's okay. All right, Ms. Kelly, you're here on one matter, all right? It is a probation violation warrant. That is for your criminal case CR 2025-101601. That is for your case involving a conviction of possession of a forged instrument, a class 4 felony. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation in that case. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this probation violation matter, and you have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You're eligible for release. Your terms of release include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Okay. So when your probation violation warrant issued, your probation violation judge requested the bond of $250, and this court is going to affirm that for today's purposes. All of your additional terms will be in writing, but they include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so remind me, I've done 19 and 20, haven't I? Yes, okay, so we should be ready. And deputies, the court cleared, aside from Mr. Day. Okay.
Yes.
All right, sir, would you please state your name and date of birth?
LeVar Day, August 10th, 1977.
Thank you. All right, sir, you are here on one matter. Just give me one moment. You're here on a probation violation warrant. That is in your criminal case CR 2017-001854. That is for your conviction for failure to register as a sex offender, a class 4 felony, and you are alleged to have violated terms 1, 4, 5, and 7, as well as you have 3 allegations of term 15 violations. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you, And you have a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. So you are not eligible for release on bond today.
Eligible for what?
You are not eligible to be released. You are being held non-bondable pursuant to Arizona Rule of Criminal Procedure 7.2. That rule basically states that if there's a significant likelihood that you will be revoked and as a consequence serve a term of incarceration, then this court must hold you non-bondable. But again, sir, you have an attorney appointed and your next hearing is in exactly a week, so you can discuss this case and all matters with your attorney and raise any issues with the trial court at that time, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. You're excused.
Go ahead.
Yes. All right, and Deputy, can you please tell me why we do not have Connie Barron in the courtroom?
She is a NASWA.
Okay, and just for my own education, what does that stand for?
Mental health database, NASWA is their non-acute suicide watch.
Okay, thank you so much,
So we
Deputy.
can't remove them from.
I'm still rather new, so
No,
thank you
that's fine.
for letting me know what that stands for. Okay, so then we will conduct Ms. Barron's initial appearance in-house. She's here on two matters, the first of which is allegations of new offenses, including possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause as to those allegations and has appointed an attorney. Ms. Barron will have a status conference on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 1st, also at 8:30 a.m. Terms of release include release to pretrial services. Other terms include, but are not limited to, no possession of any weapons, any drugs without a valid prescription. She must contact her probation officer within 72 hours. Ms. Barron's second matter is a probation violation warrant for her criminal case number CR 2024-154908. She is alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15 of her probation. The court is appointing her an attorney and setting a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition for November 18th at 8:30 a.m. Release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50, along with the remainder of her release conditions, standard probation violation release conditions, which are all included on the written order. I will go into the back right now and see her if anything changes after I do the initial appearances with Ms. Barron. And if I change anything with respect to release conditions, my written orders will reflect the court's final orders. And with that, we will go off the record. Just give me 1 second. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm just going to call in a warrant really quick before I go back.
Good, Mr. Justice, all right? Yeah, Mr. Justice.
Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. Thank you. Okay. All right, everyone. Good morning. This is the 8 a.m. initial appearance calendar for November 11th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar as well. Before we get started, I'm also going to read the, the victim's rights advisement. If you are a victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have certain rights under Arizona law that, amongst others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by defendant or defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. And with that, let's call the first matter. Okay, if I can have Tyler Makiwa come to the podium, and if I can have Brandon Burke take a seat next to the door, please. Good morning, sir. Could you please give me your full name and date of birth?
Tyler Makiwa, April 28, 1999.
Makiwa. Thank you very much. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. So you're here on 3 matters. Let's start with the first one, number 14 on the calendar. That's a new matter before the court, before the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is alleged that you have committed 1 count of aggravated assault, class 4 felony, and 1 count of assault, a class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of a disorderly conduct, also a class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to exist as to all of your counts. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m., followed by a preliminary hearing on November 20th, 2 days later, also at 8:30 a.m., both matters in the downtown Superior Court, as to the release conditions in your matter. As to this matter, the court has imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $25,000 secured appearance bond. If you are able to post that bond, there are additional release conditions that apply. Before you are released, you are to be equipped with an electronic monitoring device, also known as, in some cases, as an ankle bracelet. That's to be done before your release. Additional release conditions include that you not go back to the scene of the alleged crime or have any contact with the alleged victim in this matter. In addition, upon your release, you are to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Given the fact that the scene of the alleged crime may be your address, may be your home, I have also issued one civil standby order. And what that is if you are able to be released, you contact the local law enforcement in your city and you make an appointment to meet them at your residence, so they'll give you some time to take out some of your personal belongings before you go somewhere else, because you are not allowed to be there. And with that said, you are also to find an alternative residence pending whether either the outcome of this matter or until another judicial officer changes your release conditions. I'm not going to go over the rest of your release conditions with you. They're all going to be included in writing. You're going to get that here momentarily. Your second matter is number 19 on the calendar. That is a probation violation warrant for a Class 4 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you in that case as well. Your next court date is a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. As to that matter, the court has imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. There are additional release conditions that applies to that matter as well. I'm not going to go over them all of them with you. You're going to get them all in writing, but one of the ones I'd like to point out is the fact that you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. And finally, number 20, your last matter on the calendar, is also a probation violation warrant for a Class 4 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. Your next court date on that matter is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing, also on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. As to that matter, the court has imposed a $2,500 bond as well. Again, I'm not going to go over all the release conditions as to that matter, but I'd like to point out the fact that if you are able to be released, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. You're going to get a copy of all my orders and all of your release conditions for all of your matters here momentarily. If I can have you step to your left.
Thank you.
Brandon Burke to the podium, please, and if I can have Daniel Moreno come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Brandon Burke, August 4th, 1990.
Thank you very much. Sir, you are here as a result of a bench warrant for a failure to appear in the Maricopa County Superior Court. I think you have I'm not going to appoint an attorney. I think you already have one that's existing in your matter. Your next court date on this matter is a status conference on November 18th, followed by a preliminary hearing on November 20th, both at 8:30 a.m., both in the downtown Superior Court.
Okay.
Now, I have reviewed the docket in your matter, and it shows me that there's a possible motion that you and or your attorney had submitted a request to quash the warrant, and that to a previous court that weren't related in this matter, but as of today, that warrant hasn't been quashed. However, your next court date, according to ISIS, is a hearing on that warrant to quash the warrant, and that's tomorrow, November 12th. So, Julie, I don't know if, will he just be transported tomorrow if he doesn't, because he has something on the calendar through ISIS.
Transported regardless because it's still on the schedule.
Okay. Yeah, so the previous judge on this matter had said a $1,000 secured appearance bond. I'm going to go ahead and affirm that bond, and I'm going to do that because even though you have a hearing tomorrow to quash your warrant, it's still an active warrant. So I'm going to approve the previous judge's orders. Affirm the previous judge's orders for the $1,000 cash bond, and if you're transported tomorrow, you can address that warrant and the release conditions then. There's some additional release conditions, unless you post the warrant, unless you post the bond today for $1,000 cash bond, secured appearance bond. There's some additional release conditions that apply. I'm not going to go over all of them with you, but you're going to get a copy of all of them here momentarily. If I could have you step to your left, and hopefully that hearing works out for you tomorrow.
Thank you.
If I could have Daniel Moreno to the podium, please, and if I can have Stephen Velasquez come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, sir. Could you please give me your full name and date of birth?
Daniel Joseph Moreno, March 14th, 1988.
Thank you very much. Sir, you're here as a result of a probation violation warrant stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court for a Class 4 felony. I've appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. It is alleged that you have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15 of your probation as to the release conditions in your case. The court has imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. $2,500 secured appearance bond. There are additional release conditions that apply if you are able to post that bond. I'm not going to go over all of them with you, but one of the ones I'd like to point out is the fact that you have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. You're going to get a copy of all my orders with your paperwork here momentarily. If I could have you step to your left. If I can have Stephen Velasquez come to the podium, please, and if I can have Dylan Dawahoya come to the chair next to the door. And my apologies in advance if I mispronounce your name. Good morning to you, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Stephen Dustin Flores Velasquez, June 30th.
Thank you very much, sir. You're here on 3 matters. The first is a new matter stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is for 1 count of criminal damage as a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to exist as to that count. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference on November 18th, followed by a preliminary hearing on November 20th, both at 8:30 a.m., both in the downtown Superior Court. As to the release conditions in this matter, I have imposed a $2,500 secured appearance bond. There are additional release conditions which apply. I'm not going to go over all of them with you, but you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, and you are not to have any contact with the alleged victim, and you are to contact your probation officer within 72 hours if you are able to secure release. The next matter, number 16 on the calendar, is a probation violation warrant for a Class 6 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you in that case. as well. Your next court date is a probation revocation and possible disposition hearing on November 18th in the Downtown Superior Court at 8:30 a.m. As to this matter, your release conditions, the court has imposed release conditions in the, let me see here, in the amount of $250 as a secured appearance bond. Again, you are to contact your probation officer upon if you are able to secure your release. And last on the calendar, your number 18, again, that's another probation violation warrant for a Class 6 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is also on November 18th, and that's a probation violation, probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing at 8:30 a.m. in the Downtown Superior Court. As to this matter, the court has imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Again, you're supposed to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. I haven't gone through all of the release conditions in your matters, but you are going to get a copy of all my release conditions and my orders and the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. If I could have you step to your left. Thank you.
What's your left? Takes you back. Taylor. Come on, here. Here you go. Please, take it off.
If I could have Jacob get time, come to the chair next to the door, please. Good morning, sir. Could you please give me your full name and date of birth?
John Hoya, 10/04/2002.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, you are here this morning on a probation violation warrant from the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is alleged that you have alleged your probation for a Class 4 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is November 18th. That is going to be for a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing in the Downtown Superior Court. It is alleged that you have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15 of your probation. A previous judicial officer has imposed a bond in the amount of $250 in this matter. I'm going to go ahead and affirm that bond as a secured appearance bond. There are additional release conditions that apply should you be able to post that bond, among which are the fact that you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. A copy of all my orders and all your release conditions are going to be provided to you here momentarily. If I can have you step to your left. Thank you. If I could have Jacob Gaetan come to the podium. And if I can have Jessica Medina come to the chair next to the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name.
Jacob Henry Gaetan.
And your date of birth?
March 6, 1986.
Thank you very much. Sir, you're here on two matters. The first is a probation violation warrant from the Maricopa County Superior Court for a Class 6 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the Downtown Superior Court. It is alleged that you have violated terms 3, 5, 7, and 15 of your probation. As to your release conditions, a previous judicial officer has imposed a bond in the amount of $750 in your matter. I'm going to go ahead and affirm that bond. That bond is a secured appearance bond. There are additional release conditions. Should you be able to post that bond that you must abide by, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. I'm not going to go over all of your release conditions with you, but you're going to get a copy of all my orders and your release conditions in the paperwork that you're about to receive here momentarily. Your second matter, number 8 on the calendar, is also a probation violation warrant for a Class 4 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. Your next court date is a probation revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing, also on November 18th, also at 8:30 a.m. in the Downtown Superior Court. Again, as to this matter, it is alleged that you have violated terms 3, 5, 7, and 15 of your release conditions. Your previous judicial officer has imposed a bond in the amount of $250 on that matter.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, on this matter, I'm going to go ahead and affirm that bond. It's a secured appearance bond. There are additional release conditions that you must abide by should you be able to post your bond, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. I'm not going to go over the rest of your release conditions with you, but you're going to receive a copy of all my orders and all your release conditions as to both matters in the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. If I can have you step to your left.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Medina, please. And if I could have David Dowse come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, ma'am. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Jessica Medina, 6/13/1984.
Thank you very much. Ms. Medina, you're here on two matters. The first is number 10 on the calendar. It is for a probation violation warrant for a Class 6 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter. Your next court date is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. As to you, it is alleged that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. As to your release conditions on this matter, a previous judicial officer had imposed a bond in the amount of $500 in this matter. It is a secured appearance bond. I'm going to go ahead and affirm that prior judge's bond amount and instructions. There are some additional release conditions that apply should you be able to post your bond, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. You're going to get I'm not going to go over all your release conditions, but you are going to get a copy of them here momentarily, of all of them here momentarily. Your next matter is number 11 on the calendar. That's also a probation violation warrant from the Maricopa County Superior Court for a Class 6 felony. I've appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. Your next court date is a probation revocation and possible disposition hearing, also on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. It's going to be at the same time as your previous matter. That's going to be in the downtown Superior Court. It is alleged that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation in this matter. The court has imposed a bond in this matter. It's a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. Should you be able to make bond in this matter as well, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. The rest of your release conditions I'm not going to go over with you here today, but you are going to get a copy of all my orders for all of your release conditions in both of your matters in the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. If I could have you step to your left. If I could have David Dowse come to the podium, please, and if I can have Alexander Gonzalez come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
David Dowse, 11/25/1991.
Okay. Mr. Dowse, you are here as a result of a municipal court warrant stemming from I believe, the Pima municipal court in Pima County.
Yes, sir.
For a failure to appear in that matter. Generally, for failure to appear, it's not just you. All defendants are not entitled to a court-appointed counsel for such offense, although you can hire an attorney if you wanted to privately and retain an attorney and go through those means if that's what you wish to do. Your next court date?
It's an out of town.
Okay.
It's not a municipal. It's going to be December 3rd at Eastern.
Okay. So your next court date is going to be December 3rd at 8:30 a.m. In the court in Pima County. You're going to receive paperwork indicating the address and the location of where that court is.
So are they going to transport me there, or?
The Pima County Sheriff's Department has indicated in your paperwork that they are willing to come up and get you.
Okay.
And take you there. The court in that county has imposed a bond in the amount of $500. That's a secured appearance bond. Should you be able to post that bond, then you would be responsible, you'd be released, but then you would be responsible for making sure you get to court on the right date and time.
I apologize. It is November 14th. I was looking at a different date. So it is November 14th.
Okay. All right. So everything I just said about your bond and Pima County Sheriff's Department coming to get you, that still stands. Again, your bond is a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500 secured appearance bond. Again, if you post it, you're responsible for getting yourself over to Pima County and addressing this matter out of the Pima Consolidated Court.
That's for a misdemeanor, right? Correct?
It is for a misdemeanor.
Okay.
It is for a misdemeanor. For a failure to appear.
Right.
Misdemeanor. Again, no attorney appointed, although you can have private counsel if you so desire. Your next court date, so to clarify, your next court date is an arraignment hearing on November 14th. So it's not going to go out to December 3rd, like I mentioned before. It's November 14th at 8:30 a.m. Again, Pima County Sheriff's Department has indicated that they're going to come up and get you. I mean, 3 days. I don't know if they will, but hopefully they hold true to what they said that they were going to do.
Right.
There are some additional release conditions should you be able to post your bond. I'm not going to go over all of them with you here today, but you can. You'll receive a copy of all my orders along with the bond and the true and accurate date of your next court date here momentarily. If I can have you step to your left.
Thank you.
Alexander Gonzalez, please come to the podium, and if I can have Destry Frazier come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
It's Alexander Gonzalez, 0401-1987.
Okay, thank you very much. You're here for a probation violation warrant stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is alleged that you have violated your probation for a Class 4 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. As to this matter, your release conditions.
I would like to ask to be able to possibly get out on like an ankle monitor so I get a handle to my affairs before I go before the disposition hearing.
Your release conditions were set by another judicial officer in this matter. They include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250.
I see.
So if you're able to post that bond or contact a bonding company that would post that bond.
You're not able to delete that and put me on like an ankle monitor?
Not for this offense. Not for this matter. Should you be able to post that bond, though, you are to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. There are some additional release conditions that apply. I'm not going to go over all of them with you here today, but you're going to get a copy of everything in the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. Let me just double check something. Yeah. Okay, no, that's it. I think warrant issued in August. No other holds. Okay, that's it. If I can have you step to your left, you're going to get a copy of your paperwork.
Okay.
Destry Frazier, come to the podium, please. And if I can have Charles Winkler come to the chair next to the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Destry Frazier, 6299.
Thank you very much. Sir, you are here as a result of a probation violation warrant from the Maricopa County Superior Court for a Class 6 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. It is alleged that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm going to affirm previous court's decision to impose a $500 secured appearance bond in your matter, $500 secured appearance bond. Should you be able to post that bond, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. There are some additional conditions of your release which apply. I'm not going to go over all of them here with you today, but you're going to get a copy of all my orders and all your release conditions in writing in the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. If I can have you step to your left. Charles Winkler, and if I can come to the podium, and if I can have Christopher Valdivia, come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, sir. Could you please give me your full name and date of birth?
Charles Todd Winkler,
And your date of birth?
4/30/62.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sir, you're here as a result of a new matter. It is alleged that you have committed one count of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, one count of drug paraphernalia, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and one count of reckless driving. That's going to be a misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to exist as to all of your counts. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference on November 25th, followed by a preliminary hearing on December 1st, both at 8:30 a.m., both in the downtown Superior Court. As to the release conditions in your matter, I don't see any prior failures to appear. So I'm going to go. Your other matter was in your other felony was in 03. I'm going to go ahead and release you on your own recognizance here today.
Thank you.
As long as you promise me that you're going to appear but on your own volition on November 25th. That's your next court date.
Okay.
Okay. There's some additional, if you so promise, there are some additional release conditions that you must abide by. I'm not going to go over all of them with you here today. They're all going to be in the writing and the paperwork that you're about to receive.
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir, and if I can have you step to your left. Thank you very much. If I can have Christopher Valdivia come to the, thank you very much. You beat me to it. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Christopher John Valdivia, 12/29/2000.
Thank you very much. If I can have Jimmy Stickle come to the chair next to the door as well. Sir, you are here as a result of a bench warrant, failure to appear warrant from the Maricopa County Superior Court. I believe I'm going to go ahead and it's for a burglary charge for a Class 4 felony and a shoplifting charge as a Class 6 felony. I'm going to go ahead and appoint an attorney to represent you in this matter. Your next court date is a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m., followed by a preliminary hearing on November 20th at 8:30 a.m., both in the downtown Superior Court. As to your release conditions in this matter, you previously on this matter, you had, and for the record, you were released to pretrial services.
Yes.
You didn't comply with those release conditions.
Yeah, I know.
That wasn't enough to guarantee your appearance, apparently.
Yeah, I talked to them before before this hearing right now. I talked to them, and I'm in a stable place now, so I have somewhere to live. So I don't know if that helps at all, and I have a job that I'm working right now too.
There's also, you have 6 other failure to appears.
And for misdemeanors.
So the court has imposed a bond this time in your matter. It's a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. $2,500 secured appearance bond. If you are able to post that bond, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have any contact with the alleged victims. There are other conditions that you must abide by should you be able to be released. I'm not going to go over all of them with you here today, but you are going to get a copy of everything, including all my orders and your release conditions and the paperwork you're about to receive. If I can have you step to your left, please. Thank you. If I can have Jimmy Stickle come to the podium, please. And Linda Bowers, have a seat next to the door. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Jimmy Stickle, June 18th, 1980.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, you're here on 3 different matters, the first of which is a new matter stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is for 1 count of possession of narcotics, a Class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to exist as to that count. I have also appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference, November 25th, followed by a preliminary hearing on December 1st, both at 8:30 a.m., both in the downtown Superior Court. As to the release conditions in this matter,
Sir, I was on probation, and I've been following up with my probation officer, and I didn't even know I had any other warrants. I was arrested, previously when I was here, and they said they combined everything and took it all.
I believe the violations of probation are for the term 1 violation that you recently that you've just incurred. And a term 1 in everybody's probation is that you not commit new offenses while on probation. In your matters, the fact that you are now charged with possession of narcotics, a Class 4 felony, that's a term 1 violation. Okay. So that's the violation that you're going to see on your other probation matters moving forward. But overall, you were in general compliance in terms of reporting and keeping track. The fact that you caught a new case is.
I was just getting ready to go to.
It is of concern. But here's the thing: if you were getting ready to get help,
I was. My probation officer was working with me to find a place because I'm a disabled vet, so I don't have insurance. But she was working with me on trying to find a place that will take me for help.
If you're a veteran with a disability, the VA has options for you, and your PO can help you locate, identify those options. In addition, if you reach out there's liaisons between the Veterans Administration and this court. There are multiple liaisons that will help find you those services that you need through the VA. And I believe, don't hold me to this, I believe those services are going to be provided to you free of charge. If you're serious about what you're saying to me here today, and I believe you to be, and I believe you to be, I always encourage people to find help. The fact that you're identifying the problem and that you want to get help moves this court. So, with that said, as long as you promise that you will appear on your own volition on November 25th, that's your next court date.
Yes,
the court is going to be releasing you on your own recognizance as to your new matter here today.
Okay.
That will give you an opportunity to continue down the track of finding the help that you need and identifying the resources that will get you help. Upon your release, you're supposed to contact I'm going to order that you contact your probation officer within at least 72 hours, but there's nothing holding you from...
I just talked to her the day I got arrested, too. She was just calling me back, and
Well, keep that going. Keep that communication going. That's going to be important. Call her today is going to be a federal holiday, so they may, but at least reach out, leave a message. So with that said, I'm going to be releasing you on your own recognizance. There are some additional release conditions as to this matter. There's some additional release conditions that you must abide by. You're going to get a copy of all those release conditions in the paperwork you're about to receive here shortly. Your next matter is number 12 on the calendar. That's for a probation violation warrant. This is going to be for your term 1 violation. If I'm going to release you on your other matter on your own recognizance, I'm going to release you on this one on your own recognizance. Again, the state will be alleging a term 1 violation, but you're going to handle that at your next court date. I have appointed an attorney to represent you in your probation violation matter as well. Your next court date for that matter, number 12 on the calendar, is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. That's going to be a lot sooner than your previous court date on the 25th. So make sure you get to that since I am releasing you on your own recognizance. Again, I'm going to order that you contact your probation officer within 72 hours. And finally, your last matter on the calendar, number 13, it's also a probation violation warrant for a Class 6 felony. I've appointed an attorney to represent you in that matter as well. Your next court date is a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on November 18th, same date as your other probation matter at 8:30 a.m. in the downtown Superior Court. As to this matter, I'm going to be releasing you on your own recognizance as well. Contact your probation officer. That's going to be by order of the court. There are additional release conditions that you must abide by, including not to consume any drugs or alcohol, not to consume any drugs without a valid prescription, continue to provide proof of local address, or at least keep in contact with your probation officer that you got to contact within 72 hours. You're going to get a copy of all my orders along with all of your release conditions here momentarily. If I could have you step to your left.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Linda Bowers, come to the podium, please, and Logan Brownell, come to the chair next to the door. Good morning, ma'am. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Linda Bowers, 6/16/65.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, you are here on a new case. It is a municipal court matter stemming from the Surprise Municipal Court. It is for 1 count of assault and 1 count of disorderly conduct, both Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to exist as to both matters. However, due to the nature of the charge, not just you, no defendant would be entitled to court-appointed attorneys or to a court-appointed attorney. However, you can hire an attorney or retain an attorney at your own cost, a private attorney at your own cost. Your next court date is an arraignment hearing on December 9th at 1:30 p.m., again in the Surprise Municipal Court. All right, so as to your release conditions, let's talk about them. This court is going to be releasing you on your own recognizance here today. However, there are additional release conditions that you must abide by. And I'm going to go over some of them with you here today, not all of them, but you're going to get a copy of everything in writing, all my orders regarding your release conditions in writing here momentarily. One of your release conditions is that you not return to the scene of the alleged crime. The other is that you have no contact with the alleged victim or victims in this matter. Is the scene of the alleged crime your residence?
Yes, my home.
Okay. Because of the nature of the offense and the relationship between you and the alleged victims, I'm going to order that you find an alternative residence pending either the resolution of this matter or until another judicial officer reevaluates your release conditions. Given that your residence is the scene of the alleged crime, I'm also going to issue 1 civil standby order. And what that is you must contact your local law enforcement where you live, in the city or town and where you live. In this case, I think it's Surprise. Mm-hmm. And schedule an appointment with them to meet you at your house so you can remove some of your personal belongings to make the transition into the alternative residence. Again, my orders are going to stay in effect until another judge changes them or until your case is resolved. You're going to get a copy, like I said, you're going to get a copy of all my orders here momentarily, including the court address of where you're supposed to be on December 9th for your arraignment hearing at 1:30. All right, if I can have you step to your left. Logan Brownell, please come to the podium, and if I can have Jelana Alvarado come to the chair next to the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Logan Brownell, December 6, 2006.
Thank you very much. Sir, you're here on a new case from the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is alleged that you have committed one count of racing or exhibition of speed or drag racing. That's a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to exist as to that count. I am appointing an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is November 25th. November 25th. That's going to be a status conference followed by a preliminary hearing on December 1st. December 1st. Both matters are going to be at 8:30 in the morning, and both are going to be in the downtown Superior Court. As to the release conditions in your matter, the court is concerned by the behavior that you've demonstrated, especially as it relates to the alleged drag racing. I understand that there may be other instances through MVD for similar offenses, but I don't see that any of them amounted to any kind of felony conviction, and you have no prior, I don't see any prior failure to appears. As such, I'm going to be releasing you today on your own recognizance and on your promise, as long as you promise to appear, on November 25th on your own volition in a court. Do you so promise?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'm going to be releasing you here today. There are some additional release conditions which apply. I'm not going to go over all of them with you, but you're going to get a copy of all my orders for your release conditions and the paperwork you're about to receive. If I can have you step to your left, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Alvarado, please come to the podium, and if I can have Kevin Main come to the chair next to the door, please. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Please give me your full name and date of birth.
My name is Jilliana Alvarado. My date of birth is January 9th, 1992.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, you are here today on a new matter. It is a matter stemming from the Buckeye Municipal Court. It is alleged that you've committed one count of assault and one count of disorderly conduct, both Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to exist as to both counts. Given the nature of your offenses, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel. However, you can retain private counsel on your own if you so wish. Your next court date is an arraignment hearing on November 25th at 2 p.m., and that's going to be in the Buckeye Municipal Court. You're going to get, as part of your paperwork, you're going to get their address as well. And that's going to be an arraignment hearing, if I didn't already mention. As to your release conditions, I am going to be releasing you on your own recognizance here today. However, there are additional release conditions that that this court is going to order that you be bound by, including not to return to the scene of the alleged crime and have no contact with any of the alleged victim or victims in this matter. I had a question on your case. Is the scene of the alleged crime, is that also your residence?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to have to make an edit.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
So my spouse cannot afford the mortgage without me, and I cannot afford the mortgage without him. And we have two small children who we both take care of together. So I understand that you don't want me to return, and that's okay. However, I wouldn't be comfortable leaving here without some sort of order on the children. I don't mind sharing. He's a great father. I don't mind sharing and doing what we can to work together. I don't want to go back, but I would like some guidance on what to do with my children.
Okay. As far as going back, let me close the loop on that. So you are going to have to find an alternative residence to stay, a place to stay, again, either pending the outcome of this matter or until another judicial officer changes your release conditions. With that said, I am going to allow for one civil standby order, and I don't know if you heard me say it to someone else. A civil standby order allows you to contact local law enforcement in your city. In this case, I think it's Buckeye. And you make an appointment with them. They meet you at your house, and they allow you some time to gather some of your personal belongings so then you could take them to your alternate or new residence. Again, pending the outcome of the case or until your release conditions change. That's done for as the court sees it, that's done for the safety of the alleged victim as well as the safety of the community. As to your children and the custody, I don't have the authority to make that decision one way or the other right now. If they're in the custody in the residence that you lived at with another parent, I don't have the authority to change that or move that around in any way. So I won't be able to help in that regard. If you could take that would be a separate proceeding altogether. And you're free to pursue those avenues, again, with an attorney or in a different court. But I can't make any orders regarding placement or custody of children at this time, in this proceeding, especially for this matter. All right, if I can have you step to your left to get a copy of all your paperwork. Kevin Main, please come to the podium, and if I can have Harvest Krog come to the chair next to the door, please. Good morning, sir. Please give me your full name and date of birth.
Kevin Main, June 21st, 1989.
Okay, thank you very much. So you're here on a new matter. It is a municipal court matter stemming from the El Mirage Municipal Court. It is for two counts of disorderly conduct, both Class 1 misdemeanors. I have found probable cause to exist as to both counts. Given the nature of this offense, you are not entitled to court-appointed counsel, but you are free to retain private counsel on your own if you so wish. Your next court date is an arraignment hearing on November 25th at 8:30 a.m. in the El Mirage Municipal Court. You're going to get the address to that court here as part of your paperwork. As to the release conditions in this matter, I am going to be releasing you on your own recognizance. However, there are going to be some other release conditions that you must abide by, including not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having any contact with the alleged victims. I understand that the scene of the alleged crime may also be your residence, but I cannot order that you be allowed to return back to your residence. So I am going to order that you find an alternative residence and provide proof of the court of that alternative residence. Now, my orders are going to stay in effect until another judge changes them or until your case is resolved. Given the fact that the scene of the alleged crime may be your residence as well, I have also issued one civil standby order, and that means that you can contact local law enforcement. It may be El Mirage PD, and you make an appointment with them to meet you at your residence so that you could take some of your personal belongings out of your residence and take them to your alternative residence, either pending a judge changing your release conditions or the resolution of this matter. There are some additional release conditions that you must abide by. I'm not going to go over all of them with you, but you're going to get all of my orders for your release conditions and everything related to your matter and the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. If I can have you, go ahead.
I have an 18-month-old son, and even just to get my car today, do I have to call El Mirage to go do that today, or?
As soon as if there's an immediacy As to this matter, yeah, as soon as you're released, call them and make an appointment for them to meet you at that residence.
Okay.
So you can address that issue. They'll be present, so there won't be any incidences with anybody, especially in the alleged victims. But yeah, and as soon as you're released, make a call.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. If I can have you step to your left. If I can have Harvest Krog and come to the podium. Ma'am, my apologies if I mispronounce your last name. If I can have Darren Clo or Clo. Oh, no, that's a house call. Okay. Ma'am, please give me your full name and date of birth.
Harvest Crow, March 13th, 1985.
It's pronounced Crow?
Krog. Yes.
Krog. Okay. That was close. Ma'am, you are here on a new matter. It stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court. It is for one count of ag DUI as a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to exist as to that count. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference on November 25th, followed by a preliminary hearing on December 1st, both at 8:30 in the morning, both in the downtown Superior Court. As to your release conditions in this matter, the court is going to be releasing you to supervised release, to the custody of pretrial services. The terms of your supervised release will include alcohol testing and drug testing and monitoring for both substances. So you're going to get, as part of the paperwork you're about to receive, you're going to receive instructions as to, as soon as you're released, how to contact pretrial services and set up and talk to them about the terms of your release and set up procedures on how you're going to operate with them and communicate with them moving forward. And that's going to be all included in the paperwork you're about to receive here momentarily. There are some additional release conditions that you must abide by. I'm not going to go over all of them with you, but they are, again, they're going to be included in the paperwork you're about to receive. If I can have you step to your left. Okay. There are two remaining matters on the calendar. I believe both of them are going to be house calls. As to Darren Clog, officer, is there any update or?
No, still danger to yourself and others.
Okay. If the microphone didn't pick it up, number 4 on the calendar is still a danger to himself or others and thus not transported. I am going to be doing a house call. It is my inclination on this matter. So he is charged with a new matter stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court for a Class 6 endangerment. I have found probable cause to exist as to that count. I have appointed an attorney to represent him. His next court date, I will advise him, is November 25th at 8:30 a.m., followed by a preliminary hearing on December 1st, also at 8:30 a.m. The first date of November 25th is a status conference, both in the downtown Superior Court. I am inclined to release him to the supervision of pretrial services, to include an installation of an electronic monitoring device to be installed prior to his release. There are some additional release conditions that he must abide by should he be able to, or when he is released. Not going to go over all of them on the record, but he will be provided a copy of all my release conditions and the paperwork he will be receiving. The other matter on the calendar is J.C. Julian. Any update on her, officer? In case it wasn't picked up by the microphone, she is still a danger to herself or others and thus not transported. I am planning on doing a in-person house call with her as well. She has 3 matters on the calendar. The first is number 22. It is a Oh. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna take them out of order. The first is number 23. That is a grand jury warrant. She is not bondable as a matter of right. She's not bondable on this matter due to the fact that she has an open felony case in number 22 CR. That's the CR 19 matter. I'm sorry, 2019 matter. So she will be held non-bondable on this matter. I will advise her that her next court date is an original arraignment on November 18th at 8:30 a.m., followed by an evidentiary hearing also on November 18th at 1:30 p.m. As to her next matter, number 22 on the calendar, that is a failure to appear bench warrant stemming from the Maricopa County Superior Court. I have appointed an attorney to represent her on that matter as well. Her next court date is a status conference on November 18th at 8:30 a.m. As to that matter, the court has imposed a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. And finally, number 24 on the calendar, that's also a failure to appear warrant from the Maricopa County Superior Court for a Class 4 felony. I have appointed an attorney to represent her on that matter as well. As to that matter, number 24 on the calendar, the court has imposed a $2,500 secured appearance bond. It should, after meeting with these people, with both of these folks, should my inclination change, I will allow for that to be reflected in writing, and I will not go back on the record on this matter, on either matter. With that, the 8 a.m. calendar is now closed and adjourned.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by pound. If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. You are now joining the meeting.
I'll do it. It's fine.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Is she on? Officer, would you do me a favor, please, and grab these headphones and take them to our Spanish speaker?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Oh, thanks. No, that's okay. No, that is me. Who are you putting, so I'm Kunosh. And you're switching me out for Huckabee? I could pretend to be Huckabee. Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Commissioner Kunosh. This is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for Tuesday, November 11th. If you'll all give me just one quick second, we're going to try to get a setup here for some of our individuals that need Spanish interpretation. Okay, Ms. Korb, I think that our Spanish speaker has the headset. If you would please be so kind as to double check with the Spanish speaker, can you confirm that he is able to hear Spanish interpretation through the headphones?
I don't hear any answer.
Yes.
I don't hear any answer, Your Honor. Does he have the headphones? Are they muted?
He does. It was muted. Is it unmuted now? Okay. Can you say something out loud, please?
Dígame algo en voz alta. Hello. Okay, now the interpreter can hear you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, very good. For the benefit of everybody now, I will kind of start over. Good morning again. My name is Commissioner Kunosh. This is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for Tuesday, November 11th. The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of November will apply to the hearings on this calendar. If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, please be advised that you have rights under Arizona law. Among others, those rights include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you a loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all of the victim's rights under Arizona law, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. Most likely that is the County Attorney's Office. Okay, as we get started on the calendar here this morning, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time. I will start by asking the first person to stand behind the gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. I will then ask the next one or two people I intend to call into the courtroom to line up in these chairs right inside the door where this gentleman with the headphones is sitting. So if you would please listen carefully for your name, move from the chair you're in now to one of those chairs inside the door, and then you will be up next into the courtroom. Once you are in the courtroom, I will start by asking you to state your full name and date of birth. Then I will explain to you why you're here. You all have the right to the assistance of counsel in a criminal case. I will tell you when you're in the courtroom whether a public defender is being appointed to defend you. Whether or not you are appointed a public defender, you always have the right to hire a private lawyer at your own expense if you wish to have a private lawyer defend you. When you're in the courtroom, I will also give you the next court hearing dates and times that you'll be required to attend after this court hearing, and then we will go over on what terms and conditions you could potentially be released from jail today. In addition to that right to the assistance of counsel, you all also have the right to remain silent. You cannot be forced to make any statements in the courtroom this morning about the facts of your case, but I want you all to know that any statements you do make in the courtroom could be used against you at any point down the line in these proceedings. Even if you qualify for a public defender going forward, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom here today for purposes of your defense. So because you won't have a lawyer in here, but because anything you say could be used against you, you should all think very carefully and strategically before you make any statements here in the courtroom today. Last thing I will tell you all before we get started is that all of the information you get in the courtroom will be provided to you in a written document as soon as you're done in here and you step back into the room that you're in right now. So please don't feel like you need to memorize the information we go through in the courtroom, but do please keep that paperwork with you wherever you go from here today. Okay, if we could get started, Jose Luis Saquic Estrada, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please stand behind this gray podium right in front of me. Amada Ramirez Espinoza, if you would please work your way to the chair where Mr. Estrada is sitting after he moves. Okay, good morning, sir. I just want to confirm one more time, are you able to hear the Spanish interpretation through your headphones?
Yeah. Sí.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. Can you please state your full name and date of birth?
José Luis Saquic Estrada.
José Luis Tejic Estrada.
Del 12 de diciembre del 15 del 15 de diciembre de 1998.
December 15, 1998.
Thank you very much, sir. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation against you is one count of assault. It is alleged to be a misdemeanor allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you against that allegation. That lawyer will be appointed for you at your next court hearing by the next judge you see. That hearing is going to be an arraignment hearing November 25th. It will be at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Santan Justice Court. I do intend to release you on your own recognizance with some conditions. First, what that means is you will be released from custody without being required to post a bond. Upon your release, you will be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing November 15th. Upon release from custody, you cannot.
I'm sorry,
have
Your
any
Honor, for the
contact.
interpreter, my apologies, for the interpreter, did you say 15 or 25th?
If I said 15, I meant 25.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. Okay, so just to be clear, your next court date is November 25th. I might have misspoken on that date. It is November 25th, 9 a.m. Upon release, you could not have contact with any alleged victims of the underlying assault allegation. You could not possess any weapons, and you could not consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription upon your release from custody. Do you understand those conditions, Mr. Estrada, and do you agree that you'll abide by them if you are released without a bond?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, thank you very much. If you will work your way back to your left, you'll have all that information in your paperwork. As you pass by him, if you would please just leave the headphones with that officer.
I show that there was only one Spanish speaker. Do you want me to make an announcement?
I show that too, and yes, please, if you would.
Yes. ¿Hay alguien más que necesite intérprete en español? Si es así, levanten la mano. Any hands?
Okay, I'm told no hands were raised. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate your assistance.
Thank you.
Did somebody need a Spanish interpreter? No, okay. Okay. I guess that means she doesn't need an interpreter. Okay, Amada Ramirez Espinoza, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Shelby Martin, if you would please work your way to the chair inside the door. Can I please have your name and date of birth?
Amada Ramirez Espinoza, May 2nd of 93.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ramirez Espinoza. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of aggravated assault, that is a Class 3 felony, 1 count of assault, and 1 count of endangerment. Those last 2 are Class 1 misdemeanors. I did find probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a public defender to represent you going forward. Your next court hearings will be a status conference November 18th and then a preliminary hearing November 20th. They will both be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. Secured appearance means you can use a bonding company to post that if you choose to. If you do post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying alleged events took place, and you could not have any contact whatsoever with any alleged victims or witnesses. If released from custody, you would be prohibited from possessing any weapons or consuming any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. And whether or not you are released from custody, if any orders of protection have been or are later served upon you, you would be required to specifically comply with the terms of those orders. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Shelby Martin, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Dante Wittenberg, if you would please work your way to the chair inside the door. Good morning. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Shelby Martin, February 8th, 1999.
Did you say February 8th?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Martin. You are here on 2 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, that's a Class 5 felony, 1 count of driving on a suspended driver's license, that's a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of failing to obey a law enforcement officer, that's a Class 2 misdemeanor. The second matter you're here on is an allegation that those new charges violated Term 1 of your probation. I did find probable cause to support those new allegations and the alleged Term 1 violation, and I've appointed a public defender to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearings will be a status conference November 18th and then a preliminary hearing November 20th. Those will both be on the new case at 8:30. In the probation case, your next hearing will be a revocation arraignment. It'll also be the 18th at 8:30, so same date and time as the status conference on your new case. So on the 18th, both of your cases will be heard at 8:30 downtown. Then you'll have 1 additional hearing on the 20th just on the new case. On the new allegations, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. On the probation matter, your bond is $500. So your total bond is $5,500. It is all secured appearance. If you post it and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons and you could not consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Martin. You can step back and get your paperwork.
You have a good day.
Dante Wittenberg, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Kaylin Strassener, if you would work your way to the chair inside the door, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Dante Russell Wittenberg, 11/18/01.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wittenberg. You are here on 2 different matters. The first one is an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of theft of a means of transportation. It is a Class 3 felony. The second matter you're here on is an allegation that new theft of a means allegation violates Term 1 of your probation. I did find probable cause to support the new allegation and the alleged Term 1 violation, and I appointed a public defender to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearings on the new case will be a status conference November 18th and then a preliminary hearing November 20th. On the probation case, your hearing will also be the 18th. It'll be a non-witness violation hearing, also at 8:30 downtown. So on the 18th, both of your cases will be heard. Then you'll have 1 extra hearing on the 20th just on the new case. All of those will be at 8:30. They'll all be in the Superior Court downtown. On the new theft of a means allegation, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. In the probation matter, your bond is $250. So your total bond is $2,750, all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons and you could not consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. prescription. If you're released from custody, you would also be prohibited from attempting to initiate contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses of the new theft of a means allegation. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wittenberg. You can step back and get your paperwork. Kaylin Strauss Center, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Roy Rieger, if you would work your way to the chair, please. Can I please have your name and date of birth?
Caitlin Streichner, 32495.
Thank you very much. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. You have a lawyer already assigned to you in that case. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a new status conference November 18th, and then you'll have a preliminary hearing November 20th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the morning, both in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released from custody, your prior release restrictions will then be in place again. Those include that you not return to the scene where you were arrested and that you not possess any weapons or consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah, does that mean that I won't be released unless that bond is posted?
Yes, that's exactly what it means. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you very much. Officer, I need to ask my clerk to reprint that and swap it out if you would. We just have to reprint your paperwork, but we'll bring it right out to you. Roy Rieger, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Thanks, Tracy.
Hello.
Hi, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
August 14, 1987.
And what's your name?
Roy Norman Rieger.
Rieger is how it's pronounced? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Rieger. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of criminal damage. It is a Class 2 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to support that allegation. Because that's a misdemeanor allegation, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. You do still have the right to the assistance of counsel, but what that means is if you want to have a lawyer defend you against that allegation, you will have to hire a lawyer to represent you.
It won't happen again.
Okay, your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing December 9th. It will be at 1:30 in the afternoon. It'll be in the Surprise Municipal Court.
You have a paper on it and everything?
I'm sorry?
You have a paper and put everything on it?
It's going to be in the paperwork you get when you step back in there. You'll get all this information in there.
It won't happen again.
Okay, I do intend to release you on your own recognizance, so that means you would get out of custody. You would then be responsible for getting yourself to your hearing December 9th at 1:30. Once you are released from custody, you could not go back to the scene where the underlying alleged criminal damage took place. You could not have any contact with alleged victims or witnesses of that allegation.
I live in the same house with my wife, but I'll make sure I won't do nothing wrong.
Well, if that house is where this happened, and once you're out of custody, you can't go back there. So you'd have to find an alternate residence at least until your first hearing on December 9th. So once you're out of custody, you can't go back to where this occurred. You cannot have contact with the alleged victim. So if that's your wife, then between now and December 9th, you'll have to find another place to live, and you cannot have contact with your wife. You also could not possess any weapons, and you cannot consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription once you're out of custody. Do you understand all of those conditions? Okay, do you agree that you'll abide by them if you're released without a bond? Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Okay, that concludes the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar. This court will stand in recess until 2 p.m.